Hi everybody, my name is Olivier Ker Ourio. I'm a French citizen. I originally come from Reunion Island in the Indian Ocean, but I've been living in Paris for the last 20 years playing music, chromatic, harmonica, mainly in the jazz music. I think I started when I was a little kid because my daddy is a harmonica player. He plays the chromatic harmonica, and I think that as far as I can remember, there were harmonicas all over the place in the house, and so I was in contact with the chromatic harmonica very soon, very early age. My daddy is quite influenced by Larry Adler, and I admired him very much. And at the same time, I knew very early I didn't want to sound like him. I had a different idea of how I wanted to sound. When I started to really be into jazz and love jazz, my influences were jazz players, and there are not so many who play the harmonica. So one of my main influences, I mean, someone I really loved listening to, I don't know if I sound like him, but I liked listening to, was Louis Armstrong. He was, you know, he's just a genius, and you listen to this guy, you're like, okay, that's what I want to do, but with your own way, but you want to do that, you know? And then later on, the guys that I really liked listening to were Chet Baker, for example, on the trumpet, Miles Davis, of course, and some saxophone players like Stan Getz and Wayne Shorter and all those guys. Also, all the pianists, Bill Evans, Herbie Hancock, and all those players, I could say, definitely influenced me. If I have to mention harmonica players that influenced me in the jazz field, there's of course Mr. Toots Thielemans. The first recording I heard was the one he made with Bill Evans, that's called Affinity. And for me, this CD is like, you know, when you look at the mountains, you have some mountains, and then suddenly you have Himalaya and Everest, you know? And when I listen to the CD, I'm like, okay, those guys, they are all the way up there. And wow, it's going to be really hard and difficult to climb all the way up there. and then my first reaction was to be discouraged. So I was into stopping playing music, and then, I don't know, after a while it came back, it was like I had to play anyway. And I felt like, well, those guys did it. So it's possible, at least if I try, I may be able to go my own way on some road, and we'll see how far I can go, I don't know, but it's possible to do. And suddenly it was like an example to follow. I became a professional musician when I was 28 years old. And so that's late. And I was not into music at all before. I was a computer engineer. I was working in a bank, believe it or not. I would write some programs for the bank, you know, dealing with people's money and things. And, but I didn't have fun. And at some point, when I was like 26, 27 in Reunion Island, I was playing lots of more and more music, and I was less and less interested in the programming. And don't forget, if I wanted to be a musician, I had to leave Reunion Island and go to Paris, and lived in Paris, where I didn't know many people, and it was like starting a whole new life. So that was not an easy decision to make. And I went to Paris and went studying, and I felt I had something to do in this direction. So I stayed there in Paris, and I've been doing this for almost 20 years now. Yeah. When I was a kid on the island, there weren't many music stores, and I think the only brand of harmonicas you could find was HOHNER. My first instrument, I think it was a 10-hole chromatic. And then I think the next instrument was the chromonica 270. And then I think I evolved slowly but surely in direction of the mellow tone, which has been the instrument that I've been playing for the last years, because I really like its softness and soft sound. So this is basically what I've been doing. And sometimes I also use some chromonica 270, but in different registers. I use the one that goes 1 octave down, you know. I played it last night at the concert, the introduction of Caravan.